everybody, blessings and hello to you. I hope this video meets you well. I hope you are at peace. I hope that you are in good health. I hope that you are more than surviving the moment that we're in, more than surviving the timeline that we're in, more than surviving these days of February. I am recording on February 17th. 2025, President's Day. I don't know when this video will be posted, but I have a theme and an idea for the video that I'm about to record. I'm thinking that today's theme is going to be entitled Monsters. And what inspired this post today is a post that I read this morning, written by Robert Reich. It's probably the only post that I read today from somebody else. And, I wanted to read some of that to you. And then I wanted to go down a little bit on memory lane a little bit and share some things that I had written with the theme, the monsters theme in mind. I was also looking for a very, very old poem that I wrote many years ago, but I couldn't find it. So that one I will have to skip. But I just wanted to discuss the theme monsters. For anybody who may be discovering me for the first time, I am not like any other online creator. I am uniquely me, authentically me. I am Letitia. I'm a 42-year-old millennial mom of 5 children. I'm an immigrant living in the US. I see myself as an intuitive, a light worker, an energy reader, an INFJ empath. I'm agnostic. I'm progressive. I write poetry. I'm an inspiring writer and inspirer, messenger of truth, love, and light. I feel like I am needed now more than ever. I feel like the things that I have to say, my messages of love and light and hope, is needed now more than ever. I know that for a lot of people, you guys, a lot of people are preoccupied right now with all the bad stuff. We're preoccupied watching the Muskrat King, preoccupied watching the MAGA minions, preoccupied watching the MAGA emperor, and you're watching them just destroy everything. You're watching things crumble. You're heartbroken, you're sad, you may be scared, you're worried, you're all kinds of negative emotions. And that is totally understandable. And I just feel as though I have been activated and prepared for a moment such as this. It isn't easy on me either, but I feel as though I have received intuitive visions and encouragement and understanding, an intuitive understanding of this moment. And even if it turns out that I may be totally delusional and I may be totally disconnected with reality, I've decided that if this is the end of the days, if this is the end of days, if this is a time of apocalypse, I'm going to go down filled with joy and light and love and living the life that I desire, living a life of light and love and freedom and peace. And I am not going to be fearful until the monster is right in front of my face. And even if the monster comes right in front of my face, and I'm inspired by the animation Rise of the Guardians, I recommend that you watch it. It would make your spirit feel light. It would remind you of our power and the strength of one light. Even if the monster comes right up in front of my face, I'm going to say to this monster, I know you exist. I can see you in front of my face, but I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you. And the monster has two choices. You can devour me, or you could just backtrack and go the other way, because you are not scaring me. I'm not surrendering my fear. I am not feeding the monster my fear. And I truly am a believer that if you don't surrender your fear, if you don't surrender Your freedom, it cannot take it. It cannot take it. I am truly 100% confident of that. And if you have watched my videos before, you may have heard me use the story of how the Grinch stole Christmas, and how the Grinch stole everything from the Who's, and the Who's sang anywhere. Well, I'm saying to you, you know, cross any bridge when you get to it. Like, if something is stolen from you, then you worry about that. If the darkness is right in front of your in front of your face or at your doorstep, then you deal with it as as required. You deal with it then. But do not succumb to the fear in advance. Don't use your imagination. Don't imagine the monsters. If the monsters aren't there right at your doorstep, if the monsters is only on the other side of the computer, don't imagine the monsters. Focus on the beauty around you. Focus on the sky, the clouds, the trees, the birds, the things that you love, the things that bring you joy. Focus on the good stuff. Deal with the monster when the monster gets in front of your face. But in the meantime, live your life in joy and light and magic and beauty. And I'm not saying ignore things. Be aware of things. Be aware, observe as much as you are able to observe without it drowning you. But as you observe, you take care of yourself, you take care of your spirit, you make sure that you can process and you can deal, observe and absorb as much as you are able to without drowning, without sinking into that negative space. Learn to meditate, learn to tap into your spirituality, and do the things that you love. Read the book, do the hobby, do the things you love, and then you write down, you think about practical ways in which you can make a difference in the areas of in the capacity that can fight back against what is happening, what is going on. Can you feed a neighbor? Can you help your neighbor next door that might need your help in some way? Can you contribute to you think of ways in which you can help, right? In which you can do something on a practical level, but don't just sit home and be depressed. You don't sit home and be depressed. You be proactive, and you think about the little things that you can do, because the little things make a difference. I promise you, the little things make a difference. And you do not fear the monsters. Even if the monster is at your door, don't fear the monster, because the monster is it's just going to devour your fear and move on to the next one. So don't feed the monster your fear. So I want to read to you this post by Robert Reich. I saw it on YouTube, and I'm very intentional with the things I click on, but for some reason I chose to read this post. I didn't even know what to expect. It didn't have any pictures or anything. I just chose to read this post, and I want to share some of it with you. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to share some of it with you. Robert Reich. Friends, I want to share with you some thoughts about the hellish fourth week of Trump 2. Trump increasingly resembles a monster, a creature that's extremely powerful and dangerous and is inflicting extraordinary harm on human beings. Elon Musk is behaving like a monster. J.D. Vance is a baby monster in waiting. The monstrous Trump-Vance Musk regime, I can't in good conscience call it an administration, has appointed a Star Wars cantina of other monstrous people. Monsters abroad are eager to work with them. Vladimir Putin, Viktor Orban, and the neo-fascist parties in Europe, which Vance and Musk are actively urging Europeans to support, would like nothing better for the world to succumb to their monstrosities. Authoritarians are attracted to one another because they legitimize each other. The more thugs in high places, the easier it is for another thug to make it to the top. Oligarchs also oligarchs also help boost each other's power and wealth. The rise of these monsters raises a profound challenge for the rest of us. How do we maintain common decency when monsters are in charge? It is a question our parents, our grandparents, generations had to face when confronting the monsters of their era. Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, and Franco, as well as homegrown monsters such as the Ku Klux Klan, Father Coughlin, Senator Joe McCarthy, and other bigots who fed off their fetish fumes. I remember my father saying that while it was only natural to fear such monsters, we must not submit to them. We can't let fear cause us to hide or retreat. If we submit to their bullying, we only encourage more bullying. He said it's natural to worry about the monsters, but we shouldn't obsess about them. We couldn't let the monsters take over our waking hours, our conversations, our dreams. If we obsessed about them, we gave them power over us that they didn't deserve. And he told me that while it's natural to want to defend ourselves from the monsters, defensiveness was not enough. Defending ourselves would not stop them. We had to go on the offensive. Rather than retreat, we had to fight them. Rather than resist them, we had to overpower them. Yet, neither my father nor his generation faced the task of maintaining decency and integrity in America at a time when many people in positions of leadership in this country have joined the monsters or given in to them. Part of the way to do this, I believe, is to celebrate integrity wherever we find it, such as the public servants I listed last week in my post on Profiles in Courage. And then for the rest of the writing, he goes on to list profiles of courage. He lists the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Daniel Sassoon, who resigned because of the political order from the top Justice Department officials to drop the corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. So, and he goes on to list other people. He goes on to list that when when she did that, then it inspired other people to do that. To stand up for integrity, to stand up for the integrity of the position that she was in. These justice departments aren't supposed to be political, but of course, because a criminal has been elected and he surrounds himself by people are criminals, are the worst monsters and most monstrous people, he basically rewards people, criminals, rewards people with bad criminals, con artists, people that are being investigated, people that are doing things that are against the law and have done things that are against the law. And as long as they suck up and behave and fall into place, and he can use them, then he will, as he has shown in his first presidency, he will reward people for that behavior. He will reward that behavior because he does not care whether a person is a criminal or, does bad things or does things against the law, because he's also a criminal and does bad things and does things that is against the law. As long as those criminals and bad people do what he wants them to do, are useful to him and suck up to him, and as long as they're useful. So that is no surprise. It is no surprise. So one of the visions that I had, one of the visuals I had, when thinking about the period that we're in now and how bad it is, I was thinking about the Ninja Turtles movie, the last one, the recent one, where at the end, Superfly, I think he was, he fell into this big toxic whatever chemical thingy, and he turned into some sort of creature. He came out this most disgusting, huge, giant monster, and that keeps sucking up everything in its way, just sucking up everything, just like everything was just sticking to it, and that was one of the visuals that I had for the regime that was about that was had the regime that had risen to power, that was elected, and how it was just sucking up everything, was just being stuck to it in its wake, as it was moving. The monster was just sucking everything in, and the things that it was sucking in was like, if I'm thinking about this regime, I'm thinking that what it was sucking in was people's integrity and people's self-respect, and people's courage and people's spines, and like it was basically sucking up the weak ones, into its orbit, and they became a slave to the monster because they were a part of the monster now, and it'll take a lot of strength to hold on tight and not be sucked into it, and not be sucked into the normalization, and not be sucked into the gaslighting, and not be sucked into it'll be so much easier if we just say what they want to hear and act how they want to act, or want us to act, or be quiet, because if we're not quiet, they're going to beat us up, they're going to bully us, they're going to be mean, they're going to do all the mean things and the bad things. It'll be so much easier to shut up and to conform and to bow down. It's going to take strength and courage to hold on tight. And this is why I say I recommend to people that they be their best self. You can't hold on tight if you are weak. And you are going to be weak if you are weary, if you are fearful, if you are discouraged or in despair. You have to have that you need to be brazenly confident. You need to be overly confident. You have to know that we're going to win. Even if you are wrong, you don't even say, what if I'm wrong? You keep visualizing it, that right is going to eventually win. And you got to know this based on how history, from history, evil never prospers. And the reason that evil never prospers is, first, they usually shoot themselves in the foot. They can't come, because everybody in the orbit of wicked, you're not going to have the best people, because you're going to only have the yes people and the suck-ups and all the people that are going to tell you what you want to hear. So you're never going to know the truth. You'll never know how to really be smart and strategic and to make proper decisions to be sustainable in what your pursuits are. These bosses are often jerks, so they're always going to have people that are going to betray them, because they're going to be such pricks that at some point it'll be too much for some people and they will betray them. It always happens. They're not going to be able to function as a team. They're not going to come together properly. That energy is just not sustainable. It just really isn't. It just really isn't a sustainable energy for winning and being in a winning position permanently. So, at presently is their season. Presently is their time, but they're going to F it up. They're going to F it up. And what you need to do is remember that one. Hang on tight. 2, hold on to your integrity. 3, hold on to your joy. Realize that this isn't going to be over like yesterday. It's as according how people say it's a marathon and not a sprint. So you have to live, you have to eat, you have to laugh, you have to live and enjoy life, and sing like the Who's of Whoville, even if they take everything away, because they can't take your voice. And I mean, if they take your voice, we'll cross that bridge when you get to it. But whatever tools you still have, you use them. You know what I mean? As long as you still have the tools, you use them. Use every tool in your arsenal. Every tool with that is powered by the light, not darkness, not despair, not fear. Because the light is stronger than the darkness. So I just want to share with you, I just want to go back a little bit down memory lane of some things I have written that had mentioned monsters in it, since we were doing a monsters theme. I had written this one in 2022. Sorry, I had written this one in 2021, August 2021, just before the 2022 midterms. I had written this. And it's called The Monsters They Created. Last night I was scrolling Twitter. Last night as I was scrolling Twitter, I found myself on a feed that makes it their mission to update folks on right-wing crazies, the things they are saying and doing. Through doing this, I became more aware that the level of insanity we're up against is so much deeper and so much scarier than I could really begin to imagine. I also read an article about the My Pillow guy's Mike Lindell strong belief that the former president will be reinstated this August. I saw a clip where Sidney Powell, one of Trump's crazy election fraud lawyers, said on a right-wing podcast, Lindell TV, Fox is part of the propaganda arm of the Democratic Socialist Communist Party, and that is pure fascism. Insanity. Fox News has created a monster with an insatiable appetite. The crazies they spawn have grown out of their control, and just like it happens in the books and movies, darkness always turns on its own and feeds on itself. This shit is getting out of control, and it's getting there fast. The stupidest, meanest, cruelest, loudest liars, biggest bullies, and political entertainers are out there putting on a dangerous performance daily, appealing to our angriest, most violent, most anti-government factions, working overtime to destroy democracy because it commits the crime of giving everyone, including people who don't share their ideology, a voice. Some really believe it should be their way or death. For others, it is simply for the selfish reason of grasping power. The monster they have created started to elect and give the taste of power to all kinds of people who don't deserve that power and don't know how to wield it, who misuse it and use it for evil purposes. Democracy is in trouble. Freedom is in trouble. Our future is at stake. Truth is, for our traitors, courage, telling the truth, standing up for what is right, will not be tolerated. Dissent is not allowed. These people are intent on installing a Hitler-type figure as the final president as the final president and the end of democracy. And they aren't letting up. They are just getting started. 2022 midterms is the fight to the death. People will have to fight this darkness, and we have to win, or my generation and the generations after me are screwed. Our children deserve better. So I wrote that in August of 2021. Okay, so here we are, 2025, here we are. Here we are. Okay, so this poem, I'm going to share with you a poem now. And I wrote this poem during the election, in the final 100 days. I had done on Instagram, I had been doing a 100 days and counting down poem a day post, right? So I was writing a poem for each day for 100 days and counting down. So I was counting down each day and writing a new poem for the days counting down to election day. And this poem is 50 days and counting down. And this was written in September 14th. This was written on September 14th, 2024. Last year. Okay. Obviously. 50 days and counting down. 49, 48, 47. Remember these names: Mitch, Lindsay, Bill, and Kevin. But oh, there's more. Many, many like them that sold their souls. Now they're nothing but liars, accomplices, minions, and gaslighting trolls. They're the puppets and they're monsters, the master. It's too late. Their choices led to disaster. Stop and listen. You'll hear her laughter. Karma is here, and it's them she's after. As it's destroying what they hold dear from inside out, they seem not to understand what that's about. It seems lost on them. This is the fate they deserve. The moment they let their morals swerve, empty, soulless, no backbone, spineless, cowardice, afraid to stand alone. Stand with truth instead of standing for a light. Slowly devoured by corruption and greed, their inner conscience they didn't heed. They all told the truth back in 2016. Then bit by bit their transition to pathetic losers can be seen. One of them even tweeted these words back then, in case you haven't heard it: if we nominate Trump, we'll get destroyed and we'll deserve it. So he got the speed and timeline wrong. That doesn't make it less true. America can help fulfill that prophecy if more than enough voters make those words come true. Vote blue. Okay, so I wrote that during the election season, and I was talking about the fact that the monster that they created. And now the monster is, at this point, the monster was their master. But now the monster has a master. The cycle is something else. And I don't know how the story gonna end, but I think it's very, very good karma that the monster is no longer the boss. The monster himself is now somebody else's puppet. The monster used to be the puppet master. Now the monster is the puppet. So we're going to see how this goes. But in the meantime, we're going to hold on to our integrity. We're going to hold on to our empathy, but don't let them weaponize it against us. We're going to hold on to our love. We're going to hold on to our light. We're going to hold on to the truth. We're going to speak the truth and shine our light and live in our joy and our freedom. Live in our light. Trust that we are protected and we will be fine. We will be fine. We will be okay. We will survive. I mean, we'll be uncomfortable. You know, we will go through difficult things, but we can do hard things. We can do hard things. I've discovered that we can do hard things. And we got this. And we can defeat this monster. So, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed what I shared with you. I hope you enjoyed the poem that I shared and my thing that I wrote in 2021 and the piece that I read today by Robert Reich on my YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the theme of today's video. I hope that when this video is finally posted, that it helps, you know, and that you all just hang in there. You hang in there and stay strong and believe that we could do hard things. And also believe that you're protected. Believe that you're protected. You know, the things that you experience at this point, it is for your greater good, I promise. If you lose your job, it might suck. It might fucking suck, like really suck, you know? But it might be a situation where it's asking you to look at your life and figure out, what am I supposed to do in this season? Why was I moved? I was moved from where I was because there's something else that I'm supposed to do. You know, sometimes we human beings literally have to have a fire lit under our behind. We have to be pushed in order to leap. You know, somebody might have to actually push us off the cliff. Whether they meant it for good or bad, sometimes we have to be pushed off the cliff in order to leap. I personally am witnessing people that would not have been connected to other people if not for this experience. That would not have found their people if not for this experience. Would not have used their voice if not for this experience. Would not have come out and really become who they were supposed to become if not for this experience. You know? So the shifting and what we're going through it is to prepare us, it is to move us, it is to have us deal with our shadows, to do our shadow work, it is to have us heal, it is to have us step into confidence, it is to have us get to the point where we don't give a fuck, we don't give a f what people think about us. It is whatever it is for the purpose of making you be, forcing you to do the work to become your best self. I mean, some people might just give into the despair and the anger and the sadness and the negative stuff and just let it drown them. But you know, it's a choice. You could let it drown you, or you could let it move you into something better. And it can take time. It will take time before you get to the something better. But you just take the steps. You take the steps. You just do one step at a time, one task at a time, one thought at a time, one day at a time, 1 second at a time. I mean, like you know, take your time and don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed or feel pressured or whatever. Like there are many times that throughout the course of my life that, you know, as a child, I watched my mom lose her job a few times, and we were fed. You know, there's times where the business is doing well for my family, and you know, and there's times where it isn't, and we were fed and we were taken care of, and we got through. We got to the other side. You know, we always get through. Sometimes you get to have that big spread on the table, and you have your favorite foods, and you have all the good yummy stuff, you know, in life. And then sometimes you have to learn to make do with what you have and be creative and both times are for your own good, and both times it keep us humble, it keep us grateful, it keep us on our toes, and it makes us stronger and brings the best out of us. So all I can say is, like, don't be scared of any monsters. Don't be scared of any monsters. look the monster in the face and say, I know you exist. I can see you in front of my face, you know, but you don't scare me. I'm not afraid of you. Or what I also told my mother is sometimes you need to picture the monster as something funny and silly and laugh at it, you know, because that weakens it. It weakens it. Your laughter weakens the monster. Your fears feed it. Your despair feeds it. Your screams feed it. Think about Monsters, Inc. Your laughter makes it smaller. So I'm grateful that you watched this video today. I'm grateful that you stuck with me to the end. And if you like what you saw, could you please, if you haven't already, subscribe and like this video and comment and just help me out with the algorithm stuff and do some things, engage in this post so that I could start reaching people and I can build this platform. Thank you for all your loving energy. Peace and blessings.